Are we prepared for 2025? Let's face it, the last 2 years have not been easy at all. And let's just say that the chances aren't in our favor if we're thinking that 2025 would somehow make everything better overnight. We are delving into a very crucial subject today, what we ought to be storing this year. We'll approach it from the perspective of the difficulties we're most likely to encounter, along with a few additional astute suggestions to assist us be ready for everything. First, drugs. The speed at which basic supplies like painkillers and fever reducers for children can run out has been brought to light by recent shortages. The shelves are filled one day, and then, sad, they are empty, since not all prescriptions can be safely diluted or substituted. This becomes even more important if you have small children at home. For instance, if taken excessively, painkillers like ibuprofen and acetaminophen can be extremely harmful. It's not just about children, though. A well-stocked medicine cabinet is also necessary for adults. These are necessities you don't want to be fumbling for when illness strikes, from cures for stomach ailments to cold and flu medicines. A wise remark? When was the last time someone in your family fell ill? For what reason did you run to the store? Stock up and make a list right now. Let's now discuss antibiotics. We're lucky to live in a time when some companies sell legally prescribed antibiotic kits, and these are game changers in medical situations. Think about getting one if you haven't already. Having a supply on hand could be crucial given the current shortage of amoxicillin and possible revisions to regulations. First aid supplies will come next. There is more to this category than meets the eye, even if it covers the fundamentals like antiseptics. For instance, isopropyl alcohol is frequently used by default, but did you know that it can harm tissue and impede the healing process? It is less suitable for wound treatment, but excellent for cleaning surfaces or preparing an area for an injection. Another popular antiseptic is hydrogen peroxide, but it has drawbacks as well. It effectively destroys germs, but it also damages good cells, which can cause healing to be delayed. It does, however, have some special applications, such as being used as a diluted mouthwash, ear cleaning, or even a textile stain remover. For tough stains like blood or specific biological problems, it's especially helpful. As an added plus, it combats stubborn bacteria like norovirus without having a bleach-like odor, an antimicrobial that is sometimes disregarded but merits a place in your first aid pack is povidone iodine. Although it smells awful and is a little dirty, it doesn't hinder healing like alcohol or hydrogen peroxide do. The classics simply work better sometimes. Additionally, remember that soap and water work wonders for cleansing wounds. It is an easy-to-use yet effective infection prevention tool because of the foaming action that helps dislodge dirt and germs. Simple soap will work just fine. It doesn't even need to be antibacterial. And last, keep enough of bandages on hand. Begin with the most basic, such as Band-Aids, and work your way up to gauze, compression bandages, and braces. These things may not seem like much, but they can have a big impact right now. Let's discuss fast clot, which is more beneficial than you could imagine. Although most people think of it in relation to healing gunshot wounds, it can also be useful in everyday settings. Imagine getting a terrible cut when you're chopping vegetables, or perhaps you get hurt while doing a do-it-yourself project. A quick clot can stop bleeding quickly, which is especially important if you're in a remote location with no way to get aid right enough. It's also a fantastic addition to the emergency pack in your car. Having a rapid clot on hand could make a big difference until expert aid arrives if you are in or witness an automobile accident. Not to be overlooked are spring storms. This could be crucial if your house is damaged by extreme weather and someone is harmed. Let's now turn our attention to security, which is equally important. Increasing crime rates are a severe problem that is not expected to get better anytime soon. For instance, our area was among the safest in town when we initially moved there 7 years ago. Porch pirates were only the beginning, and things have become worse since then. The wheels of one of our neighbor's cars were recently taken in broad daylight. In actuality, crime tends to increase as economic conditions deteriorate, including the possibility of recessions and unemployment. How can we defend ourselves then? Ammo is usually the first thing that comes to mind, and while it is crucial, you shouldn't ignore other tools. Sensors for motion. Choose versions that run on batteries and don't require a network. Those that use radio signals are a good option. For long-term dependability, some even include a base station with an AC power source and a battery backup. Lighting that is actuated by motion. These lights are great for warning you of activity outside, especially when placed strategically, but they might not be able to dissuade a determined intruder. Upgrades to hardware and locks. Start with easy modifications, such as changing the screws in your door strike plate to longer ones that anchor into the studs, at least 3.5 inches. It is significantly more difficult to kick in your door as a result. Now is a good time to install a deadbolt if you don't already have one, because it's simple to get around those little knob locks with anything as simple as a credit card. Flip locks. Don't undervalue these. There are heavy-duty models certified for up to 800 pounds of force, but many are lightweight. For extra strength, utilize multiple locks or install one in the center of your door. However, security is more than simply technology. Situational awareness is a free ability that can save your life. It's simple to grow overly comfortable at home, but being mindful of your surroundings, both indoors and out, can help you identify any dangers before they become issues. Let's finally discuss food security. The supply chain may fail in a variety of ways, such as crop damage from fertilizer shortages, inclement weather, or delays in shipping. In actuality, these problems have already been observed and show no signs of abating. Some products, such as vegetable oil, may be more difficult to locate this year. The bright side? Stock up while you can, because unopened vegetable oil can last up to 2 years. Another product to watch is tomatoes, which are essential in many recipes and may be in limited supply soon. The bottom line? Make your pantry more varied. To stay ahead of the competition, concentrate on long-lasting products while simultaneously monitoring possible shortages. Speaking of food, it's possible that tomatoes will be on the list of goods that are in short supply this year. The good news is that you can easily get around it. Invest in canned tomatoes, or even better, cultivate your own. You can stay ahead of shortages with even a tiny balcony or backyard garden. One more possible worry? Shortages of beef. Although your main focus should still be on shelf-stable items like rice, beans, canned goods, and dried pasta, it's a good idea to add some frozen meat to your supply. Just remember that you'll need a dependable backup power supply if you're keeping a lot of frozen food. Invest in a generator to keep your freezer operating, because a single power outage might destroy your stockpile. Remember to stock up on formula if you have a baby. Even nursing mothers should keep some on hand, because illness or other difficulties may cause their milk production to temporarily stop. Additionally, not every baby responds to every formula, so be sure to choose the appropriate one for your child. Even though gardening season hasn't arrived yet, this is the ideal time to purchase heirloom seeds. Plan your garden by considering the crops that your family consumes the most. In addition to saving money, growing your own food teaches you a skill that may come in handy later on. Having your own stuff on hand will also feel like winning the lotto if prices continue to rise. There is no compromise on water storage. In the event of cold temperatures or the need to empty your system, remember to have some water stored indoors if you're using outdoor rain barrels. Even better, if you haven't already, think about setting up a rainwater harvesting system. Convenience and readiness are two benefits of this sensible investment. Stocking up on everyday products you'll always need is a smart idea, because inflation has increased the cost of even basic essentials. Do you recall the 2020 toilet paper panic? Let's avoid experiencing that again. Purchase some extra right away in addition to necessities like toothbrushes, toothpaste, and feminine hygiene items. You'll undoubtedly need these things, so keeping a supply on hand will help you avoid rushing or overpaying for them later. In 2025, natural calamities are yet another major worry. Where you live will determine what you experience. Hurricanes may affect coastal areas, tornadoes may affect the Midwest, and blizzards may affect northern regions. Not to mention the increasing frequency of grid attacks in recent years, in which physical assaults on electricity networks result in extensive outages. Think about having a backup power source ready. As long as you have enough fuel, gas generators work well for powering larger items like box freezers. With enough panels and the right amount of sunshine, solar generators can run continuously. However, they are more appropriate for smaller equipment. For more in-depth videos on the subject, click on the links in the description if you're not sure which kind is best for you. Additionally, if you have a way to create power, make sure to stock up on batteries, especially rechargeable ones. They are extremely useful for powering radios, torches, and other tiny gadgets during crises. You must have batteries. Although rechargeables are excellent for everyday use, particularly for flashlights, don't forget to have a supply of disposables on hand in case of emergencies. They are a great option for temporary power outages because they are affordable and simpler to store in bulk. Options that run on batteries are a good option for lighting. I personally like LED lights since, in addition to shining brightly, they burn coolly, so you won't be unnecessarily heating your house during a power outage in warm weather. Additionally, consider keeping tarps on hand. They are ideal for last-minute fixes, such as replacing storm-damaged windows. If your home sustains structural damage, additional supplies like lumber and fasteners can assist with little repairs. Additionally, remember to wear basic safety equipment, such gloves and eye protection, to keep yourself safe when performing repairs. Although we may not consider it much, the possibility of a world war has increased recently, especially in light of tensions between China, Taiwan, and Russia. Although no one wants a nuclear exchange or other major confrontation to occur, it is prudent to be ready for the potential. If you haven't already, think about include tape and plastic sheeting in your supplies. If you need to stay indoors, this will shield you from fallout by enabling you to shut off windows and vents. Having gas mask filters and other protective equipment could be helpful in the worst-case situation, even though you should always stay indoors during a nuclear incident. Whether you need it for your generator or in case you have to bug out, it is imperative to have extra gasoline on hand. Many people forget to keep an empty gas can in their car. This easy technique can help you feel more at ease if you travel frequently. You have an additional 2.5 to 5 gallons of petrol to help you get home in case something happens while you're out of town. Faraday bags are an additional issue to think about. These are an excellent method of shielding electronics from electrical disturbances such as electromagnetic fields. They will protect your delicate gadgets from unforeseen circumstances and are far simpler to use and store than constructing a full-on Faraday cage. It's beneficial to consider alternate methods of meeting your everyday demands in a world where power outages might occur at any time. For example, you can figure out how to wash your clothing or light your house without using electricity. Yes, it is a bit more archaic, but in a long-term outage, it can have a significant impact. This year, there has been discussion about a possible lack of concrete. You may wish to acquire those items as soon as possible if you have any construction jobs scheduled. Before any shortages occur, lay the groundwork. Finally, even though you might not think of it as part of your stockpile, alternate income is equally crucial. It's a good idea to have a backup source of income in case your employment is affected, especially in light of the unpredictable economy. Additionally, if your current employment remains steady, you can use the additional money for your preparations, which will increase your entire sense of security.